Islam Makhachev, will the UFC force him to vacate the lightweight belt if he moves up to welterweight? Because otherwise, we will have a real problem on our hands. All about it in this video. Hello and welcome to Bloodsport MMA. Giacomo Della Maddalena beat Belal Muhammad in a 5-round main event and is the new welterweight champion. And as we knew before, if Jack wins, Islam Makhachev will move up from lightweight to welterweight and fight for a title there. Much deserved. 100% he should jump the line and fight for the belt there. Now, everything was good so far until Islam Makhachev posted on Twitter the first time he actually really talked about that in a definitive manner. And he said, yes, if Jack wins, I will move up. I will fight for the welterweight belt, but I will not vacate my lightweight belt. And something like we might have to get real contender here or something like that. Probably just Ali tweeting something. The problem with that is, look, Islam, if he does not vacate the belt, I see two problems there. First problem, I say it here, Islam Makhachev will never make 155 again. Islam is a huge 155er already. And 100% of the time when somebody moves up a weight class, they do not just stay in their normal shape and do the same training camp as they would do for 155, for the normal weight class, right? They normally bulk up a little bit in the process and they just get used to the frame of the higher weight class. And it's not just a 10-pound jump like 145 to 155, it's a 15-pound jump, right? It's quite a jump in a weight class. And I really do not see Islam ever make 155 again. Once he moves up to 170, he will not make 155 again. Will he maybe attempt it? Possible, but I think they will realize very quickly, hey, we ain't gonna do that anymore, right? It's the same with Conor when he moved up. With so many people, when they move up, they just realize like, hey, the cut down there is just, it's not worth it anymore. And the problem number two that we have is, it's not like we just have some normal contenders that can just fight each other for #1 contenders at 155. We have a guy in Ilia Topuria that vacated his 145 belt in order to move up to 155 and got promised a title shot. First of all, Ilia got promised a title shot by the UFC. Second of all, Ilia said that he will not fight for an interim belt. And he will 1,000,000% not fight for no belt. And there will be no world where it would make sense that Ilia fights for no belt. If the UFC can somehow talk him into an interim belt, I could see that. But then on the other hand, it would be kind of weird because, yeah, Islam is moving up, but it's not like his last title defense was like 10 years ago or something like that. So it would be kind of a weird scenario for an interim belt. And I think the UFC is gonna have a hard time to convince Ilia to fight for an interim belt. He literally put all his chips on one card by vacating his 145 belt, got promised that title shot, and now Islam just decides, hey, I want to keep the other belt. And I'm pretty sure the only reason he wants to do that is that when he then goes on and eventually beats Jack, he can hold both titles and be like, I'm a double champ, and then probably comes out with, you know what, I'm gonna vacate the 155 belt now. He probably, that's just my assumption, just wants to hold two belts. But what Islam doesn't see, or what I assume he doesn't see, is even if he vacates the 155 belt, he's still the 155 champion until Ilia and, in this case, Charles Oliveira, which I don't understand why it is Charles Oliveira, but until Ilia and Charles Oliveira step into that cage, he is still the 155-pound champion. So if he fights Jack Della Maddalena before Ilia fights Charles, he will still be a double champ. And at the end of the day, that's only paper stuff. We all know you are the 155 champ. The same as if Ilia now beats whoever he faces at 155 and is the new champ there, he's a double champ. I don't care what anyone says. the reigning defending champ at 145 right now, he literally knocked him out. He is a double champ. He is. Same as if Islam moves up, he is a double champ, right? And I just don't see a scenario where that stuff just plays out that way, that he just vacates the belt, moves up, especially since Ilia is already in training camp, he said. I think Ilia has a date booked for International Fight Week. He just doesn't know yet who the opponent is and what is at stake. So yeah, that could mess up the plan because he probably fights before Islam, but still, Ilia should fight for the vacant belt. I think you should fight Arman, but somehow the UFC hates Arman now. But in my opinion, meritocracy, he's the #1 contender. He literally beat Charles Oliveira, right? But yeah, I love Charles, so I have nothing against that fight either. I think it's it's not an easier fight for Ilia, but yeah, it's an interesting fight. I would love to see that fight, definitely. But I do see a big problem there with Islam saying that he wants to keep the belt. I think the UFC should force him to vacate it because, yeah, he defended the belt 3 times or something. It's not like he defended it like 8 times or something. He's a new GSP. Bro, you defended it like 3 times. 1 time was against the featherweight, 2 times against the featherweight. 1 time you nearly lost there. 1 time against a 36-year-old Dustin Poirier and 1 time against short notice 36-year-old Moicano. And none of that is your fault. None of that. But bro, you can't just... In one way he can, because he is the pound for pound #2 next to Jon Jones, or #1 together with Jon Jones, and he's a superstar, but still, I'm like, you're not Conor, bro. Like, why should you keep that belt? If the division would be in a different state, yes, but the division right now, 155, is screaming for an undisputed title fight. And if you can't deliver that and you move up, hey, vacate the belt. Once you want to come back, you fight for the title again immediately. You know what I mean? So in my opinion, they should make Islam vacate the belt, but that's just my opinion. Write your opinion in the comments, you guys. What do you think about the whole situation? How would it play out? Write in the comments. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel. Would appreciate that a lot. Check out my merch, bloodshop.net, worldwide free shipping with the code FREE. Link is in bio. Stay bloody, you guys. And until the next one, bye-bye. Bloodsport out.